Namaste guys, ChristianRLong, Life Enhancement Consultant, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Wednesday evening here in Denver, Colorado. What time are we at? It's about 6:30 p.m. Just finished writing the weekly MCKS Pranic Healing newsletter that if you're watching this right now on Facebook, right below this video, okay, I just got a message coming in. And so it's a quote by my teacher, Grandmaster Choa Koksui, the modern founder of Pranic Healing and Arhatic Yoga. And it's basically my interpretation of what the quote means and how you can apply that quote into your day-to-day life and improve the quality of your life, right? We're all looking to have better relationships, better health, better spiritual growth and development, more inner peace, more clarity, more humility, super, super important, especially on the spiritual path. So I want to jump on real quick and talk about a topic that is interesting, how it shows up. I have messages coming in as I'm doing this stream. And it shows up in healing sessions. So there's a term that Grandmaster Choa Koksui came up with relative to energy healing, somebody receiving energy healing. And the term is called lag time. Lag time. So basically, lag time simply means when somebody receives an energy healing session, there's a period from when they receive the session to when they receive the benefits of that session. Sometimes it can be, Dusty, Namaste, a long time. Hope you're doing well. The lag time can be a couple seconds, couple minutes, couple hours, couple days. In some rare cases, it can be years before that person's energy body and conscious mind is able to absorb the energies from the healing session. Now, lag time typically relates to energy being given to a person, and Namaste, being given to a person versus the congestion coming out of the person. So pranic healing is known as the world's most comprehensive system of energy medicine that utilizes prana, or energy, to accelerate the body's natural ability to heal itself. So in essence, we are constantly absorbing fresh energy from our environment and then releasing disease-congested energy from our environment. Kate, Namaste, good to have you back on. So this is going on constantly. We're absorbing energy, using energy, releasing congestion. Avani, Namaste. So what pranic healing does is accelerates that process. So in general, if you're relating it to the physical body, if you're relating it to a broken bone, if you were to break your femur, the largest bone in your body, it's going to be 8 to 10 weeks for you to be able to put pressure on that bone again. So the doctor's going to set it, it's going to fuse, and then you have 8 to 10 weeks before you can start putting pressure on the bone again. Pranic healing can accelerate that healing rate from 8 to 10 weeks down to 4 to 5 weeks. Does that make sense? So what we're doing is we're removing congested energy from that part of the body. We're supplying it with fresh energy, fresh prana, and then the body speeds up the rate that it's naturally going to heal itself at. Because if you just leave James, Namaste, if you just leave the body alone, each and every person's body has its own healing rate, right? Some people heal faster than others, right? So in the Advanced Pranic Healing book that Grandmaster Choa Koksui wrote in the early 90s, he talks about the main factors that determine whether somebody heals quickly or heals at all. And so one of the factors that I like talking about and thinking about is lag time. Because I can remember even recently, over the past couple of years, that I would receive a healing session, right? So the cleansing would be done. 80% roughly of what pranic healing is cleansing the person's energy body. Removing junk, heaviness, congestion, stress, negative thoughts, negative feelings, right? Diseased energy from that person's energy body, right? And then when you remove the congestion, the soul, because nature abhors a vacuum, the soul energy comes down into that person and fills that void, if you will. And then we can give a little bit of extra energy to speed up that process. So just removing congestion alone has a healing effect on somebody, right? One of the great teachers, known as the Tibetan Holy Master DK, said that all disease is from lack of soul contact or lack of soul energy, right? So when we get physically sick, it's lack of connection to the soul. When we get emotionally sick or depressed or fearful or angry, it's lack of connection to the soul. When we get mentally sick, prideful, delusional, lack clarity in our lives, lack clarity as to where we're supposed to go, right? It's lack of soul contact. Roberta, namaste. So everything that we do, Jenny, namaste, everything that we do is for the purpose of what? Connecting to the soul. When we sit and we meditate, it's to connect to the soul. When we sit and we pray, it's to connect to the soul. When we have good thoughts, good words, good feelings, that's a manifestation of soul connection. When we have negative thoughts, negative words, and negative feelings, Ananda, namaste, it's a lack of soul connection. I think if someone heals quickly because of their faith. Very good. So that leads us into where we're going. So remember we talked about lag time, right? From when a healing is done to when the person recognizes the benefit of that healing. Sometimes it can take minutes, hours, days, weeks, and even years. One of the major factors is receptivity of that person. Have you ever noticed that we tend to hit rock bottom in some area of our life? And what does that cause us to be? Super receptive, super conductive, to be faithful. Please God help me, right? Please God help me. Our energy body opens up, our chakras open up, and we are super receptive, super conductive to the energy coming from God, passing through the great ones, passing through our spiritual teacher, passing through our higher selves, then into our incarnated selves, right? Isn't it interesting that we only receive a miracle when we hit rock bottom, but the reason we receive the miracle at rock bottom is because we are receptive. Or as James said, we have faith, right? So that's one reason. There are many reasons. That's one reason that within the world of pranic healing, or within the world of energy healing, or within the world of healing in general, it's always recommended to have some kind of exchange of energy to increase the person's karmic entitlement to being healed, to increase their receptivity to being healed. Think about it. If you don't pay anything for a healing, how receptive are you? It would depend, right? It would depend on the individual. It would depend on the circumstances. But in general, if you didn't pay anything, there was no exchange of money or energy between you and the healer, Linda, namaste, how receptive would you be? Not so receptive. You're like, yeah, whatever. If it works, it doesn't. If it does, great. If it doesn't, whatever. I'm not out anything. I'm out 30 minutes of my time. Big deal. But let's say you have $1,000 in your bank account. You have a really severe ailment, and you take $750 and give it over to a healer. Does that increase or decrease your receptivity? Namaste. Most likely it increases your receptivity. You're like, I am going to get some benefit out of this healing no matter what, because I just paid $750 and all I have is $1,000 in my account. Does that make sense? So it's interesting that in the Western world, in the Western mind, it helps us to become receptive by giving money. Because in other cultures, they are naturally receptive, naturally conductive, naturally faithful, right? But in the Western mind, because we're so here, we're so ajna and throat, we're so mental about everything, that it's difficult and it's challenging for us to be receptive, right? Because our mind is always working. Okay, well, what's going on here? Why is this working? Why isn't this working? Why does this guy do what he does? Is this really going to work? Is this really going to heal me? All the doubt, anger, uncertainty, fear, all of these things mentally and emotionally prevent us from what? Prevent us from being receptive. So it instead of the lag time taking a couple minutes for the healing to work, it gets stretched out to days, weeks, months, or even years. And here's the interesting thing. The higher the vibration of the energy, the longer it will take the person to absorb and assimilate it. What do I mean by that? So spiritual energy vibrates much higher, right, than denser energies. Than mental energy vibrates on one level. Emotional energy vibrates even lower. Physical energy vibrates even lower, right? Does it make sense? So each time you're stepping down the energy from spiritual energy to mental energy to emotional energy to physical energy, the molecules, the particles get bigger, and bigger, right? So it takes time for us to step down the energy. The more high vibrational the energy, the longer it takes for us to absorb, assimilate it, and receive the benefit from it. Is this making sense? Is this clear to you guys? So we can receive a spiritual blessing from a great spiritual teacher, and it could take us years to receive the benefit of that spiritual blessing or spiritual teaching. Because it takes time for our mental body, our emotional body, and our physical body to assimilate the prana or assimilate the energy. It's really quite fascinating when you think about it. And I think that's why I've always been attracted to pranic healing, is because Grandmaster Chogo Koksui, the founder and developer of pranic healing and Arhatic Yoga, was a chemical engineer. So everything he did was very systematic and basically trial and error, testing things to go back and forth of going, all right, when we did this, this is the result that we got. What if we do this? What result will we get? So he was able to develop protocols that are reproducible, replicatable, and get similar results no matter who's practicing them. So James says, is it okay I don't have a mental body? It's actually kind of funny, because if we are able to still, namaste, if we are able to still our bodies, that shortens the lag time. I'll say that again. If we are able to still our bodies, it shortens the lag time from when we got the healing to when we receive the benefit of the healing. So, meaning, give you an example. Let's say you get a healing from an energy healer, whether face-to-face or somebody across the planet, right? 30,000 miles away. But Christian, the circumference of the planet is only 26,000 miles away. All right, let's say 15,000 miles, right? So if you're getting a healing, and during the healing you're like this, you're adjusting your shirt, you're moving in a chair, you can't get comfortable. How physically, Kimberly, I'm a namaste, how physically receptive are you going to be to the healing? Not very receptive, right? Now, let's take it up a notch. Let's say you feel hopeless, in despair, lack of gratitude, right? Like, you just don't feel good in the moment of like, I don't feel like a healing right now. I just don't feel like being here right now. You're not emotionally receptive to the healing. Now, what if you're mentally not receptive? This isn't gonna work. This is all in my head. This is all voodoo. This is all weird magic stuff, woo-woo. This person's not qualified. This person doesn't have any training. What am I doing here? I can't believe I'm wasting my time and money. This is ridiculous. So you have a lot of what? Mental resistance. So as you add layers of resistance mentally, emotionally, and physically, it takes longer for the energy to be assimilated by you, right? But if you're still, you force your body to be physically still. I'm going to be physically still. I'm just going to, whatever this guy does, he does. Okay, I'm physically still. Then what happens is your emotional body starts becoming more active. Don't do anything, don't change it, don't alter it, just be aware. Okay, my emotions are getting stirred up. Whatever, I'm here for healing, so grateful, so happy. Okay, great. Then your emotional body becomes still. Then your mental body becomes still, or starts to become active, right? It starts thinking of errands you have to run, people you have to call, how do you get out of this place, the directions, did I send it to the right account? Am I going to have to do more than one session? Like blah, 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 right? You're not being receptive. You're not being mentally receptive and mentally still. But then you just be aware of the thoughts. Don't judge them. Don't critique them. Just be aware of them. And then they eventually die down. Now, what is going on? You're physically still. You're emotionally still. You're mentally still. What does that allow to happen? The healing energy, the spiritual energy that we're using for this session, passes through you and can get assimilated by your mental body, your emotional body, and your physical body faster. Bam! You have a miraculous healing. Pretty amazing, right? Now, in pranic healing, we are taught certain techniques, energetic techniques and physical techniques, to have somebody be more open and more receptive, so the lag time for their healing is less. Wouldn't you want to be healed sooner than later? Wouldn't you want to feel better now versus an hour, versus 2 hours, versus 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, right? You want to shorten that time as much as possible. So a physical thing that you can do to receive a benefit from healing is you sit, legs open, arms open, palms up, and your head slightly bent. What we have found energetically, that when someone takes that pose, palms open in the lap and head slightly forward, that somebody is more receptive. They're more receptive to being healed. The energy passes in them faster versus somebody sitting back, crossed arms, crossed legs, and the energy has a hard time penetrating that person's aura, because it has to first penetrate the person aurically, and then the different bodies, and then into the chakras, and then to be assimilated. But if you're resisting, you're blocking it, it takes a long time to get healed. So lag time. So that's a little discussion about lag time. It simply means the more open and receptive you are to being healed, it's not, keep in mind what I said, it's not being open and receptive to the methodology. Like, so do I have to believe in pranic healing for it to work? Do I have to believe in Reiki for it to work? Do I have to believe in theta healing, quantum touch, laying of the hand? Do I have to believe in these things for it to work? No. But you do have to be open and receptive to the process. Open and receptive to the process. Also, another one, being open and receptive to the healer. If you don't like the person that's in front of you, either distantly or face-to-face, who is doing the healing session on you, are you going to be open and receptive? Not so much. You're like, I don't like the person's clothes. I don't like how tall the person is, how short the person is, how fat the person is, how skinny the person is. I don't like all the crystals that they have. I don't like. All the judgment that you're projecting at the person doing the healing is doing what? It's extending the lag time for you to get the benefit of the healing. So that's why it's good to work with somebody who you resonate with, you have a level of rapport, likability, trust with that person, because it makes you more receptive to the energy that's passing through the healer. Keep in mind, the healer is not the source of the energy. The healer is simply a transformer and a conduit for that energy to pass from God, ultimately, from the great teachers, from the higher soul of the healer, through the incarnated soul of the healer to you as the person receiving the healing. It's interesting. Healing from the point of energy is extraordinarily complex. It's extraordinarily complex. I have been a professional energy healer for 15 years. And I feel like every quarter, every 3 months or every 90 days, I'm learning new things that blow my mind from the things that I previously knew. Because energy healing is an art and a science. It's an art and a science, which involves many things: mental intelligence, intuitive intelligence, understanding of the physical anatomy, understanding of the psychology of a person, understanding of the energetic anatomy, the aura, the chakras, the meridians, understanding the soul, understanding karma. Argo, Atma Namaste, my Dubaian brother. I love that picture with you and the Saudi prince or one of the many princes there. I forget the information. So the process of healing from a soul's perspective down to the mental perspective, emotional perspective, and the physical perspective is fascinating. It's extraordinarily complex. Take a doctor. And what does a doctor specialize in? A general practitioner. What does a general practitioner specialize in? The physical body. Only. Right? Now, do our thoughts and our feelings, checking from Dubai, our thoughts and our feelings, do they affect our physical body? Yes. But a general practitioner doesn't work with the thoughts and the feelings of a person, right? Because their specialization is in the physical body. Then you talk to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. What is their specialization? The psychology of the person, what the person is thinking and feeling. But that doesn't include the physical body, right? An energy healer or pranic healer, what do we specialize in? The energy body, the energy anatomy. And and everything is energy, right? Everything comes from the energy world before it ever materializes mentally, emotionally, or physically. So if you can make the adjustments in the energy world, that will have a positive or negative. Obviously, we're healers. We're not harmers. So it'll have a positive effect on the person's mental state, a positive effect on the person's emotional state, and have a positive effect on the person's physical state. Now, does that mean that doctors are not needed? Does that mean that psychiatrists and psychotherapists are not needed? Absolutely not. Because healing is multi-factored, multi-dimensional, multi-causal, and multi-layered. So you can't just say, just do energy healing and forget everything else. You also can't say, just do psychotherapy and don't do anything else. You can't say, just do ER surgery and do nothing else. Healing encompasses many, 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 many different disciplines. Many different disciplines. My specialization is the energy body. Right? The energy body of a human being. That's my specialization that I've dedicated 15 years of my life to. And I know that if you change somebody's energy, you can change their thoughts, you can change their feelings, and you can actually change their physical body. And that's why I do the work that I do. So, I hope that helps. I hope that gives you guys clarity and understanding of what lag time is. Super important concept. It really, really helps you understand. It's like, not feeling good right now. Do I want to get healed now? Or do I want to get healed in 6 months? I want to get healed now. So how do I shorten that lag time? Okay, humility. I'm going to be physically open and receptive, emotionally open and receptive, mentally open and receptive. I'm going to be still my physical body, calm my emotions, still my mind, be open and receptive to the energy. I shorten the lag time, miraculous healing. Bam. Rather than waiting 3 months, 6 months, 12 months to be healed. Does that make sense? I hope it helps. That being said, for those of you guys who are looking for healing, who are looking for transformation, that's my area of expertise. That's my specialization. I dedicate lots of time to doing it. on myself so I can be a product of the product, so I can encourage and inspire and nudge you guys in the right direction. Go to ChristianRLong, it's my name, ChristianRLong.com, and sign up for a healing session right on the website. I get a notification on my phone, syncs up to my calendar, and then we meet on Zoom, on Skype, on FaceTime, whatever's the most convenient for you. And my only request is you're open and receptive to being healed. Open and receptive to being healed. You don't have to believe in me. You don't have to believe in pranic healing, but you do have to be open and receptive to being alleviated of a limiting belief, a calcified idea, emotional pain, physical pain, whatever it is that you're suffering from. Make sense? Awesome. Do you guys have any further... I'm out of LaCroix. Becca, namaste. Late to the party. Good to see you, though. Always good to see you on the stream. Hopefully you can watch the replay and get value from tonight's talk. Do you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns? Ron, late to the party as well. Ron, you're usually on the streams. Good to see you, my man. Hope you're well. If you're watching this right now on Facebook, right below this video on Facebook is the weekly newsletter. We just finished writing that. Took about 2 hours today. It was nice. It's fine to see my own videos on here. As I'm doing this video, I'm seeing the video on Facebook. It's kind of funny. All right, guys. Well, lots of light, love, and power from God and my teacher, Grandmaster Cho Koksui, into each and every one of your lives. I hope you have a beautiful, phenomenal evening. It's... Look. That's funny. See? So for like 5 years, I've been drinking LaCroix or La Croix in my streams that I do online on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope, wherever I'm doing streams. And I'm always joking of like one day they're going to start sending me like referral checks or royalties or something, because I'm always, almost every other video, I'm drinking a LaCroix. So... Hey, you know, what's fair is fair, right? La Croix, you're hysterical. Holly seems to be doing a retreat. You can see her little face right there. Befriend her on Facebook, find out what she's up to. You're in Costa Rica. I don't know, girl. You're always doing something. But I just saw recently that you're doing some kind of retreat. So for those of you, they should. For those of you who like retreats, spiritual retreats, meditation retreats, maybe vegan retreats, some kind of retreat. Getting out in nature, highly recommend it. One of the teachers in pranic healing says at least once a month, go out in nature. At least once a month, go out in nature. Enjoy yourself. Absorb fresh solar prana, fresh air prana, and fresh ground prana. Those three help make us healthy. They repair our bodies. But if we're inside all the time, with stagnant, stale, not very well circulated energy or prana, it helps to go out in nature. That's how we get sick, right? We're not great yogis yet, where we can just go inside of a cave and stay there for 30 years. We're not there yet. Maybe another lifetime with another mission and purpose, but for now, every month go out in nature, mix it up, drive in the middle of nowhere. Run into the woods, run into the desert, run into some isolated area. Have you noticed a lot of the great spiritual teachers had their awakenings in nature? They didn't necessarily have their awakenings in the city surrounded by a bunch of people, but they had their awakenings. Sorry, my jungle Wi-Fi is lagging. They had their awakenings in nature. Have you noticed that? Ciao, Holly. Namaste. Right? Have you noticed that? A lot of the great spiritual teachers had their awakenings in, a lot of them in the desert. And there's a reason for that. It wasn't in the hustle and bustle of the city of their time, of their generation. But that's a conversation for another day. So I'll let you guys go. Again, if you need healing, ChristianRLong.com. I look forward to serving you, healing you, helping you, guiding you to the best of my abilities on your path of spiritual growth and development. And I will talk with you soon. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful day, a beautiful week, and a beautiful life. Atma, Namaste. Bye bye.